Hello everybody and welcome to another lesson on soundproofing. Today I'm going to be talking to my European friends, but also to everybody. Don't leave this video if you're not in Europe. You're going to learn a lot about which materials I recommend buying from soundproofing stores. But in Europe, I've heard it's hard to source soundproofing materials. So doing a quick Google search today, I found out you were in fact right. There's not too many options when it comes to good soundproofing stores online in Europe. But I found several that I recommend, and I'm going to help you guys navigate what you need to buy from these soundproofing stores, which soundproofing stores are the best, and what stuff you should totally avoid when trying to source your soundproofing materials. Before we jump in, I do have a resource for you. This is my free soundproofing workshop. It goes through everything you need to know to go from knowing nothing about soundproofing to having a fully built soundproof home recording studio. So if you're on that journey, definitely check it out. And you can sign up for it at soundproofyourstudio.com/workshop. That's soundproofyourstudio.com/workshop. All right, let's jump into this lesson on how to find the right soundproofing suppliers in Europe. So before we jump in, I want to say first, what supplies do you really need? There's a lot of crap out there that you don't need. I look at these soundproofing stores and I think, man, they're just selling you guys a bunch of snake oil stuff. Yeah, it might help, but it's really not necessary. The truth about soundproofing is it takes some basic construction materials with the occasional materials that are soundproofing specific, but the soundproofing stores need to make money, so they're going to try and sell you as much as they can. So keep that in mind as you look at these different options. Now, the things that every single soundproofing job will need are: you're going to need acoustic sealant, so you need to make sure that you get some sort of acoustic sealant. You're going to also definitely need putty pads, which go around your outlets and some of your light fixtures if you have them, to make sure that sound doesn't travel through them. And third, you're going to need door seals, because everyone's going to have a door coming in and out of their soundproof room. That's it. For most people, that might be all you need, depending on your soundproofing design. Now, there may be some other things that you want to look for in your soundproofing supplier. You may need green glue. This is not something that I say you have to use, but it's an extra option if you have the budget. You might need MLV, mass-loaded vinyl. Again, I don't really love mass-loaded vinyl, but if you want to buy that, you're going to need a supplier who has it. You might need isolation clips, specifically that hold some sort of hat or furring channel to decouple your walls and ceiling from the wood joists. If you know you need that for your design, then you're going to need to look for isolation clips and furring channel. Lastly, if you're doing a double wall system, meaning you're creating a separate wall with at least a 1-inch air gap from your outside wall, you're going to need some sort of sway bracing. These are special acoustic clips that keep your wall from swaying when heavy things like your door, which could be attached to your wall, are opening and closing, and for just general structural integrity of your inside wall. So don't forget those sway bracing clips. So that's it. There's really nothing else. You might see underlayments, you might see special padding, special drywall, special this, special, all these special things that they want to sell you. In my humble opinion, I think it's all a load of crap and you don't need it. There might be very small specific situations where it could be useful, but for most of you out there, you're going to do a lot better saving your money and not wasting it on stupid things like underlayments that claim to be soundproof and soundproofing systems that go over existing walls and all that stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to clear that up. Now we're going to jump into the actual stores that I found that I would recommend to you if you're in Europe. All right, so we are now on my computer because I wanted to show you guys the websites. So we're going to start with Noise Stop Systems. They are based out of the UK, and actually most of these suppliers are based out of the UK. With these guys, they have, if we look at all products, they break it down into some different, like if you're building the wall or floor or ceiling. And the main thing I found with them is that they do have the clips, the channel, the sealant, and the acoustic putty pads. So if we go over to shop now on wall soundproofing, there's a bunch of stuff that you don't need. Like you don't need any of these panels. These acoustic clips you need. So getting an acoustic clip would be helpful if you're doing the hat channel system. You can buy their acoustic channels that go with the clips, and that'll help with creating the decoupled wall system like they have here. Don't buy their studio wall kit. That's a waste of money. And you don't need to buy any of their insulation. That's a waste of money. And then they have acoustic sealant, which you will need, so you can get that. And all this is a waste. The putty pads you also will need. So you get the putty pads there. Waste of money, waste of money, waste of money, waste of money. So that's pretty much what I recommend with the noise stop systems, and you guys can compare prices to see if that's something you need. But notice how a lot of that was not really necessary. Now let's look at number 2, which is the Soundproofing Store. These guys are also based out of UK. Soundproofingstore.uk is the company name, and these are all their products here. This is not necessary. These ventilation systems I would not recommend. You can get this acoustic sealant right here if you want. That seems like a fairly decent price. And then don't need any of that. They do have a drop down acoustic door seal, which I would recommend since I know that the Zero Industries does not necessarily have a dealer in Europe, unfortunately. So the Zero International is who I usually recommend for door seals, but this will work as well. And then acoustic putty pads, again, you want to get those. Don't need any of this stuff. Don't need that. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of these screws. And the other things they have here is they also have clips. So if we go over to walls, so here's their clips. I don't recommend the direct to wall system. This is if you're going to put it directly on existing drywall, which will create a triple leaf effect, and I don't agree with them on that. But this independent Reducto Clip, this will work well for doing a hat channel system, and I believe you can buy their furring channel here. So that'll work perfectly with the clips, so you can get them in one place. Again, these prices seem very reasonable, I think. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need any of this other crap, don't need any of this stuff. They do have the acoustic sealant, like I said, and the door seal. So that makes it a lot easier. So Soundproofing Store in UK is a great supplier as well, depending on the pricing. And let's go on to the next option here. This is Acousti Block. And these guys didn't have much, in my opinion. The only thing I found that they had, they're another UK store. They do sell their acoustic sound sealant, which is like an acoustic caulking. And then the other thing they had were putty pads. So they have acoustic putty pads here. Don't buy this. Don't buy that. Don't buy this. Don't buy any of this other stuff. Don't buy these acoustic cradles. Who knows if those work or not? Probably not. So, that's basically all the stores I found. Now, the other one is Soundproof Cow, which is here in the United States, but they do international shipping. I did look that up, but you cannot use their online cart. You actually have to call them, unfortunately. But these guys do offer a few more things. Some of the stuff they offer is green glue. They offer acoustic clips. They have these special brackets, which are the, I call them IB3 brackets because that's what I got from the soundproofing company. But let me show you this real quick. If you go to soundproofing materials, so they do sell the door sweeps here, which is great. Don't need floor underlayments. Don't waste your money on that. Don't need that. Don't waste your money on that. These, this looks like acoustic putty, I think. And then they have sound isolation systems. Let's see real quick. I'm gonna shop now for their soundproofing isolation. So they do sell green glue if you wanted that. They have this IsoTrack system. This is what I was talking about here, these resilient purlin bracket or this right angle bracket. We use these a lot in my studio for the bracing, the sway bracing on our inside double wall system. You can also get these clips. They're a little more expensive. These ones right here, what I use, they work great. They cost $3.68, so that's what I recommend. If you're getting crazy, you can get isolation hangers, but unless you're really trying to achieve some serious isolation, these are a lot more complicated than using clips. All right, so you can get their full system here if you wanted, or you could save money by buying these clips and then the appropriate hat channel, I believe it's 7/8 inch furring channel, will go in there. Alrighty, lastly, we have one other company that I wanted to show you guys, which is Mason Industries. So you can get their stuff in Europe. Mason Industries is probably the highest end company when it comes to soundproofing products. So if you go to engineering, or we go to products, sorry, architectural, and if we go to isolated walls, we can look at some of their products. The two that I recommend from them are the Wick isolation clip. This is a sway brace, just like I showed you back over with the Soundproofing Cow guys. So this is a sway brace right here. This is not nearly as high quality as the Mason Industries. It's only $10.50. I can guarantee you this will be more money. But this will hold up to 250 pounds, 115 kilograms. This would go in between your double wall system and hold the outside wall and the inside wall together. And that is a good isolation clip. If you want to go even more beefy. If you need more mass, you can go to the DNSB. This would go in and hold 250 pounds all the way up to 1,200 pounds, depending on the one that you need to get. These are really heavy duty. If you have a heavy, super heavy door or super heavy wall system, you might want to use these, but the wick isolation clip also works really well. And you can reach out to these guys if you want to do directory. Go to international sales directory, and you can find a bunch of people all over Europe that would work for you. So like if we looked in France, you know, there's these people. In Europe, go to Mason UK Limited, Germany, Mason Industries, and you can reach out over email or phone. So that is what I recommend for the suppliers in Europe. Again, you don't have too many options here. You've got noise stop systems. Looks like you've got the Soundproofing Store, all of them in UK. And then you've got these Acoustic Block only for 2 products, which is the Acoustic Sealant and the Putty Pads. All right, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson on finding the right soundproof supplier for you, especially if you're in Europe. This video, hopefully this lesson has helped a lot of you out there with understanding what you need for your soundproof studio build and all the stuff that is really, in my opinion, a waste of money. So be a vigilant and knowledgeable consumer when you're building these soundproof studios, and you'll save a ton of money down the road. Don't get talked into buying a bunch of stuff you don't necessarily need. If you're not sure what you need yet, and you don't know what design you're trying to do, what type of wall design or ceiling design or floor design, check out my free soundproofing workshop. You can sign up for that right away at soundproofyourstudio.com/workshop. That is soundproofyourstudio.com/workshop. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with another soundproofing lesson.